Alright YouTube, for today's vlog we'll be reviewing a 90s movie known as The Sixth Sense. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. Even I had heard of it, but I hadn't even known anything about this movie until I watched it, which I'll say definitely made the movie all the more suspenseful. I was expecting a little more horror, as it is labeled a horror mystery, but much more the latter category, to be honest. But it's hard to put quite a title on the genre of this movie, but you know, I wrote notes that I have right here about my movie review, and it's 2 pages, which is a first for me because oftentimes I just do these reviews on the go, but I decided to make some notes for it. So let's dive into my mostly spoiler-free review, definitely free of any major spoilers. So the main character, the doctor, portrayed by Bruce Willis, is a super cool character. He's really interesting and such a badass character, and he's just like, you know, kind of just like such a great doctor and just like a great person, and I really admire his work that he does in this movie. I think it has a great opening scene and, you know, great cast. I recognize a lot of the faces and names, even though it was from 1999, which was before I was born. The opening titles and credits, or opening credits, were very well done, and I really enjoyed the opening scene to the movie as well. And later there's like a lot of symbolism, and I think the director who did this was genius with this movie. And I really love the subtle line because it's pretty niche for me. When a kid mentioned something about, you know, being a great improv actor, that definitely made me grin ear to ear, and I had to write that down because although that may seem like an oxymoron, but you know, here's I always improv and do acting here on YouTube. That line, even from a 1999 movie, definitely was cool. You know, I found the kid very fascinating and interesting with all his, you know, dynamic and his sixth sense, which is later revealed to be a mental condition, which kind of expected, but it was still cool nonetheless. And seeing his hallucinations was also very fascinating, and a lot of the things that happened to him in the school scenes made me really empathize and sympathize and feel really bad for the kid. But I did definitely enjoy his dynamic with Bruce Willis's doctor character, and even the actor who portrays the kid. Although I can't name any movies he's in, I definitely recognize him now, and it's definitely cool to see, you know, a young actor that I reckon, or a young actor in a movie that I recognize now, even though I can't put a movie name where I recognize the guy from. But anyways, there's also another scene that may be somewhat of a niche scene, is when a character the kid talks about, you know, drawing, how he used to draw dark stuff and later draws more upbeat, happy stuff. He doesn't say that word for word, but it's kind of implied, and I don't want to give too much away about the details, but I'll say it kind of does remind me of some of my own art style. Sometimes I draw dark things in darker aesthetic, and most of the time light, upbeat things. There's a scene where the kid and the teacher get into a confrontation, which was definitely epic to see unfold and very interesting, and goes into later, not down the line, we find out why Cole, the kid, has the sixth sense. And you know, it was definitely shocking to me, but also kind of made sense, as I mentioned earlier in the video. And the magic trick scene with the doctor and the kid was definitely fun and cool and interesting to see. There's also early on in the movie a mind game scene, which was cool to see nonetheless. Overall, the movie's mystery aspect definitely unfolds towards the end of the movie, and I know I say spoiler-free review, but I will say that there was something I kind of expected to happen at the end of the movie, because I kind of heard something about this movie's ending, but even still, it still managed to shock me. That's how brilliant this movie was well done. And you know, the reveal is just, you know, intriguing. And I'm not talking about the reveal about Cole the kid, I'm talking about something else that I will not give away, because I promise no major spoilers, and I'm a man of my word. So overall, great movie. I really love all the characters in this movie, and the actors and actresses. Overall, gets 2 thumbs up from Jones Beach. I'm glad I went into this movie blind, and it was not as horror as I expected, which, although I do like some horror aspects, I think was definitely a good move on the part. And I look forward to watching more movies from such as The Village and Unbreakable, which I've heard are from M. Night Shyamalan, the director who made Trap, which I thought was but haven't seen Split or Glass, but they do kind of catch my interest. And yeah, overall, great movie. Such a throwback Monday. Until then, stay tuned for more soon. Thank you guys for watching. Goodbye.